You are now reacting to the soloist Gaho, who is part of the R&B and hip-hop collaboration project formed under Planetarium Records, featuring other solo artists from the label. But you'll be reacting to his 2020 solo release called A Song for You. Gaho, when writing the lyrics for this song, was hoping to capture innocent, honest love, and when he thought about trying to capture that, he thought of handwritten letters, because when you write a letter, it's hard to write if it is not pure or truthful versus just texting the person who you love. So he wanted to portray that in this song. No text messages, a real, true, honest letter. A Song for You lyrics do take place after a breakup, and Gaho sings to his ex. Despite they're all past, despite they're all memories, I still sing to make sure I don't keep remembering you who left me. This song is composed by Leo, Gaho, and his bandmates Owner, Blue Art D, Hyun, and Kim Chi-sang.
Is this like a sad song?
It's kind of like reminiscing but hopeful. But I know it is meaningless to keep you in me. Despite all that, I could still smile with you. Who is priority of all? This song is for you. I write a song for you, you know?
Closure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not cry.
Oh, interesting. That was like a pseudo circle of fists. That guitar? Definitely.
That is a guitar, okay. I'm like, that's a weird sounding piano. Dee-da, dee-da. Ah! That's cool.
Oh,
Ooh!
That's pretty great.
Oh, that octave doubling is so rich.
And the nice little like flat descending. Like,
all thirds. Ooh, a little minor plagal cadence. Oh, I love that little guitar. It's so dry.
Oh, I love how he's like embellishing his own melody. Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Nice fuzzy guitar. The bass.
Feels like he's ahead of the beat when he does those.
The whole syncopated displacement thing is well done here. It plays its contours so straight, and I like it.
Oh.
strings.
Is that unison doubling?
Strings.
Set.
Oh, I like he didn't repeat the hoo 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 hoo. That's the third time, because that would have been overkill.
That's a good point.
It's a fat delay.
He woke up and was like, I'm gonna scream these high notes.
that just felt like so personal, so relatable. I felt like the message in this song was really like compact and clear. I was really paying attention to the lyrics, which I don't usually do. Literally like throughout the whole song, he uses like one like beautiful melodic statement and then repeats it Then that really matched like with the lyrics too. It's like how the phrasing of the lyrics was too. It's like saying like two kind of like similar things, and then each melodic phrase like goes with each like sentence. But the second sentence might be like a bit more emotional, and the music goes with that because it goes like slightly higher at the end of the phrase or something.
First of all, that chorus was really, really well written. There was just lots of like stepwise motion and lots of like chromatic tones to make it really memorable and really like harmonically tense, so that way you could just feel the emotion within it. But sort of going back to the after the piece, and this kind of ties into it, is that despite all of that tension, he was able to keep all of those unison and in a way where it was very delicate, in my opinion. And sort of he let the embellishments sort of tell what his emotions were. So the fact that he was able to keep that chorus relatively untouched throughout the entire song was really interesting.
Those little upward
The sequences
like melodies
or the
was like really, really clean. I can't do those that cleanly. I really like the sound. I like the repetition of that. I couldn't wait to hear them each time. After a while, I'm like, this is probably like gotta be the most beautiful sounding monkey sounds I've ever heard in my life. It kind of. After a while, I was like, it kind of sounds like a monkey. Like I could definitely hear a kid and be like, that sounds like a monkey. Because I work with children. But like, it's so clean and it's beautiful.
Okay, the chorus melody, that's a pentatonic scale on its like fourth cycle. So like, that's the fourth scale degree of a C pentatonic. So it's.
And he picks a really good vowel to do it on too. This song is for you, because you can really float up in your falsetto voice going instead of like hee. That would be really tough. So that was, I don't know if that was purposeful, but it definitely makes it easier for him to get up there.
There was, hold on, do you want to go back to like 130?
Right here.
Yeah, you can hear like the little bit of.
Yeah, there's a little bit of not vocal fry. That's just tension coming out as really strange sound. That might not have felt good, but the nature of the commercial music industries is that you only got to really do it once. And if you record it, even if you scream your vocal folds out, that's there now. That made me feel a little viscerally like, oh, that's tense. But it had a really strong affect, emotional affect of just like really outcry.
Like, yeah, just like raw emotional.
I have a lot of respect for vocal flexibility. He's just got a great control over his voice, flipping between his falsetto and his head voice and his chest voice. Balancing that out through the song. Like in the bridge, we hear a lot of his lower bits. He doubled sometimes his high falsetto singing with an octave, like in his chest voice, and that sounded so rich. I love that sound.
The vocals were very interesting. It had a good, like, shallow tail in the beginning, in terms of intensity and dynamics. That coming up was pretty satisfying, and the general like experience of listening to it, the whole vibe. Really built a nice soundscape to just sit in. I like all the tropes, the bringing back of the sort of 80s power ballad.
You mentioned that there's a lot of classic or cliche things happening. What emotions are given with those cliches? Like, why are they used?
Well, it's nostalgic because you can think of 17 other songs that use the same cadences, the same like boom, boom, like that was a great riff.
To me, as a listener, like when I hear something like that I recognize, it just like draws me into the song
like
even more.
Immediate familiarity.
You know? It's like when I hear dun, da, 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 dun, da, da, dun, da, da, dun. It's like, yeah, I like that.
I think what really made the 80s power ballad good was the production. I think that it did sound like rock, but a very soft type of rock, like karaoke rock, you know. But the instruments still popped when they should. And when the second verse really switched up the sound into like a full, you know, 3-4 piece band, it sounded really good. It was a nice development. It felt like development, and the instruments didn't feel like they were compressed or they were all trying to fight for the top spot. And I always appreciate that.
And you talked a little bit about the chord progression.
Yeah, there was some weird clashy chords that I couldn't really make heads or tails of, and I liked it. It was like, but yet they made logical sense. It's like, oh, how do we resolve the end of the chorus? Oh, let's do this clash chord that probably couldn't be analyzed with classical theory as much as if you just wrote the jazz slash chords. You know, it's like the bass is this and the chord is this. Boom, combine them together. It makes sense. I like that. I like that type of pop theory. And, you know, like yeah, slash chords, they're jazz theory, but when they're used in pop music, there's a special type of flavor to it. And I think this song really had some of those really nice chords.
I just really like the first part of the progression. I don't really like the second part. The second part is kind of weird.
Okay, tell me.
Weird.
Yeah, it's like a lot of notes that conflicts with each other, so I don't really like the second part. Yeah, it's like this part. I don't really like it.
You're right. Honestly, and the melody he's saying, like da da.
Yeah, like what?
It could just be da da.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
The guitar is singing with him and not the piano.
Yeah.
It goes like that and then it goes like that.
It just goes too sharp. It's almost like a half step above where it should be. I think it's just because of his breath.
It might just be his style though. It's for, I feel like it's for the
because
next
it's not a
chord.
part. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not a part of the chord.
Okay, that makes sense.
NT,
There should have been.
right? Non.
Yeah, it's a non-chord tone. And if there was a common tone of that chord, that if he played another chord before that going into the next one, then that would have worked really well. But that's just like too out there. That's like singing like you're playing C major and you sing a C sharp randomly.
I think it sounds nice. I like stuff like that.
Right. Can we also talk more about the minor plagal cadence?
I love the minor plagal cadence. It's the best cadence.
Why?
Objectively the best cadence.
Why?
Because it sounds so good. That's why. It sounds so good.
5 minutes later.
And then does it go directly to it? Or
I think minor 2.
Major and then.
No, it goes 2, 4.
Oh, 2 minor?
Yeah, to 4 minor.
To 4 minor. And it's a minor 6.
Oh, it's tasty.
The D in there.
Nice.
And then like there was one melodic moment in there where he like went to the 9, I think, on this.
Oh,
something. It was like
the second chorus or something.
So something like that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's killing. I don't know, minor plagal. Sounds so good. Like you can voice it like any way. I don't know. It's just like the gravity. It's like it's this note. It's this note. This is the one. Flat 6. Because it's the only chromatic note. The only note that's outside of the key center, and it just has like extra gravity to resolve to the 5. And then the 4 resolves that back down to the 3. And it's just like, sounds so good.
Because you hear that chord and you know exactly where it's going.
Oh yeah, totally.
And when it does, you're like, called it.
So that's one of my favorite things that happens in a song, is when you have, so this is just F major, F, A, C, and then you get F minor. So it's the parallel minor, F, A flat, C, because it's a lower third. So what happens is when the melody, and the Zombies did the exact same, I'll show you it, but it's on the third, on the lower third. I love that. It's like this cascading, falling, like melody that, because this is tinged with sadness, so it's hopefulness, like this kind of nostalgic pain, and it brings you back. It's just so gorgeous. It exemplifies the exact emotion that he's feeling. Major, minor.
Tasty.
사랑해.
아. 자.